You want to fight? I'm going to beat your ass. There's no crime committed yet. There was a threat, and you could probably even get an officer to make a call on your behalf, but there wasn't a crime yet. What happens if I come beat your ass, or you beat mine? We start beating each other's ass. What happens then? Well, now we're going into Crossbar County, right? You got assault, and you got all sorts of things we could pin on that. Oh, did I mention for you I'm a licensed fight promoter? Did I mention for you I want to fight you in the state of Oregon? Did I mention for you that I'm one of the very few people that could make that fight happen? Okay. It's an interesting point by me. Why? Because we got two guys that want to go get into street fights. We got Conor McGregor wants to settle a multi-million-dollar lawsuit with Arda, but Conor's going to do it the right way. Conor's not going to meet him at the bar. He's not going to meet him outside the corner. He's not waiting outside of his house. He's going to get him in the gym. Anything that goes in the gym between two members of the gym that have agreed upon what's going to happen, that is consenting adults, is fair game. There's a level of extent to that. That balloon can be popped, but there is a massive level of truth to that. Now, I imagine when you're fighting over millions of dollars and the stakes are going to be a little harder and the punches are going to be a little bit rougher, you are going to need somebody to tell you when to stop and who won. That's where things actually start to add in bursting the balloon. Things do not get better from a legal standpoint when I tell you that. They just got a whole lot worse. Jake Paul would like to fight Paddy the Baddy. Jake Paul actually made him a very beautiful offer. I believe $1 million was up for grabs. It's going to be a sparring session. And Jake Paul is going to get Paddy there. He's going to send him a jet. And where does the jet go, by the way? Because Paul's training in Puerto Rico. What is the tie-in to that? John Danaher was doing things in Puerto Rico, and Craig Jones was doing things in Puerto Rico, and then they left and went to Texas. This part I'm not joking about. They left and they all went to Texas. Paul used to be training in Florida. And by training for like years, but now he's in Puerto Rico. What is going on in Puerto Rico? Somebody's got the answer to that. Fill me in there. But is that where he's going to fly the jet? Because that's a very expensive jet ride. If that's coming from the UK to Puerto Rico, that's going to cost some money. And Paul said he's going to put up $1 million on top of that. But he said that you have to win the sparring session. And that is when we are no longer sparring. I tell you that as a licensed promoter. As soon as we have a victory, we no longer had a practice. And as soon as your participation in the combat that is going to result in a victory is directly related to a financial incentive, that little balloon we had where we thought we could all be boys and just settle things the old-fashioned way, it is gone. It is completely gone. And a crime has committed. So where is that difference? Why is this okay? Why is it okay for these guys to be challenging each other to assault? Do they not know that? Do they think, hey, boys will be boys, and as long as we're in the gym? And if you go into a sparring session, which I fully understand, we get a real good sense for who's who. I could go in person. I could go spar with Jake Paul. We take care of each other. Take care of each other. High fives at the end. Post for Instagram. Everybody leaves in one piece. But Jake and I will also go home knowing who's better at that than the other. So there's ways that you could do it, but when you got $1 million on the line, I suppose the guy would like to take that pretty serious, which means he's going to go a little bit harder, or he's going to go a little bit longer, or he's going to do whatever rules that you could possibly have. And Jake seemed pretty sincere in it, because he even said, I'll give you the $1 million if you get the jump on me, but I want something from you if you don't. It doesn't have to be money. I'm trying to get this thing going in the UK, and you're a UK guy, and you could help me with that. I mean, it's like this really sincere offer, and people took it like really lighthearted. And maybe they should. I'm not looking to be the hall monitor over here. I'm just sharing with you that those get very complicated. And there is a belief that is in the practice room. Randy got into this one night. Randy Couture in 1999. Roseland Theater. Steve Boyd Promotions. How's that for a memory? And there was a jerk. And the guy was a jerk, but the guy was like 4 guys. He had his buddies with him. And, guys, they start acting weird and they're showing off for the friends. You see how those things escalate. It had nothing to do with Randy. It had to do with Trish. Very beautiful girl there. And I think that Trish was even serving as the ringside doctor. So she was like an official capacity. For some reason, fans always do get that one wrong. Like a fan thinks they can tease somebody that's on the inside of the apron. Like it's different. We're different categories, and that person's all part of the show, and they're fair game to be cheered and be booed. Like there is a piece of the psychology. It's a little bit broken that has that mindset. I left a piece of the story out. Trish, the ringside doctor, is Randy's wife. So when this guy starts in on her, there's a problem quickly. And that problem was solved by asking him to stop. Well, instead of him stop, now his buddies get involved. Now it isn't like three guys tell, hey man, hey, calm down. Now they all start being dicks. So Randy tries to get him in the ring. And Randy, he does this math in his own head that if he gets in the ring, right, if we're at a fight show, we're at an actual promotion, and the guy gets in the ring, I think Randy was like announcer, he was participating, he was doing something. If the guy gets in the ring, it's fair game. Randy might have been right, and I do know at that time, and I was 24 years old, I 100% agreed with Randy. Like, oh yeah, no, if he gets into the ring, and he tried to get him in, he was in the ring. Hey, I can't quite hear you. Hey, wait, what do you say? Hey, why don't you come in here and tell me, right? Maybe that wasn't quite what Randy did, but he tried to do something to get him into the ring. So there is a difference about it. Like there is something about it. When you have these nice guys, which by the way, I'm sorry to spoil it, Jake Paul is. When you have these reasonable guys, which, oh, by the way, I'm really sorry to spoil it, but Paddy is. You guys see Paddy the other day? His dog, he was walking the dog. I don't like potty humor. I'm going to beat around the bush here, but did you see that? And so Paddy thought this was his responsibility. He goes up to a random person's house, see if they had like a bucket of water. But did you see this? But that person had a Ring doorbell and they caught the whole thing. I mean, these are like regular guys. They happen to be stars and they happen to be pretty tough, but they have this like regular component to them. So on a like regular guy level, they think that they figured this out. You're going to come here and spar. Oh, and by the way, if you win, like, I mean, you can just count on the fact that I'm going to video it and I'm going to own that and all those things. But you can also count on the fact that I'll follow the rules and my money's good. But I do expect you. Like, they think that they're working something out. And there's some extent where you can do types of things like that. But there's a way that you have to do them. The Fertittas, Frank and Lorenzo, started a company called Zuffa. And Zuffa was going to be a parent company that owned something called the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And these two brothers wrote this in legally. And I think we all laughed when we heard it. And I think it was meant in jest. But they wrote it down anyway. But I don't know if it ever would have gotten tested. I personally think it would have. And that was if they ever had a dispute. Frank and Lorenzo had a dispute that could not be resolved. We don't go to law. We don't go to arbitration. We have a jiu-jitsu match with a gi. They were pretty specific. And so there's ways to do this, but Conor cannot just go meet Artem. And Randy Couture could not have just done anything to the guy because he got him into the ring. And Jake Paul can't just send a jet and hold a sparring session if there's going to be a winner and money's attached to the participation. Like, it actually gets very complicated. What is a fight and what is not? How is the state going to view a fight? There's a number of different levels. You've had promoters that have gone in and tried to follow the rules and had their promoter's license taken away. They held an event. They popped the popcorn. They sold tickets. They brought the people in. But there's something they weren't following enough rules. The commission, hey, you're not close enough. You're not close enough. You got this one wrong, this one wrong, this one wrong. We're taking your license away, which means if you ever hold an event like this again, we will put you in handcuffs. This time, the punishment is we're taking your license, so there's not a next time. If there's a next time, we put you in handcuffs. I'm just sharing with you. Like, some of this stuff we celebrate, and it's like belly who, but there's another side of it where a crime is taking place. And I really am not looking to be the mall monitor here, but if you think anywhere in your mind, because I got the guy to agree, or because I got him into a gym, better be careful. Line between what is a sportive fight and what is a crime is a little closer than some of these challenges appear to understand.